Does your makeup slip and slide and fall off of your face sometimes? Well, not anymore, because primer's gonna change your life. When I first started doing makeup, I didn't use primer. I'm just gonna be honest. I didn't use it. I thought it was a step I could skip. Now, after becoming wise and all knowledgeable about makeup, I really think primer is not anything that you can possibly, please don't skip the primer. Because when you skip the primer, you skip your makeup staying on your face, which is absolutely crucial to the end of the day because you want to look as fresh as you did in the morning as you did that evening. So primer really is helpful. Like, I can't express how really helpful it is. As a matter of fact, I will tell you a story about a friend I have. She's another makeup artist, and I was telling her, we were talking about primer. I said I handed her one of my favorite primers, which we'll get to in a second, and she was so head over heels, she asked me for the whole priming collection. So I'm telling you, the primers that Dressing Your Truth has, no words. They're that good. I'm gonna show you how powerful this makeup can be. I'm only gonna do one side of my face. I'm gonna put primer on the right side of my face, just so that you are aware. So I'm gonna start really quick with this primer. Now, this is the face primer, and you can use a sponge or a brush. I actually just prefer to use my fingers, but I'm only gonna use it on the one side. So it goes on really fast. It goes on very matte. And it's pretty easy. I do avoid my eye area because I'm going to use an eye primer there. Now, I just want you to see how much you don't see. But already you can tell just by doing my nose how it's helping to mattify my face so I'm not so shiny, which I love this about this product. And that's it. And then we're gonna go right on, well, you guys, it's my favorite. I love this one. I love the eye primer so much. If you have any issues with your eye makeup staying on and you're not using this eye primer, this is what you gotta get. This will change it. And you just need I actually got too much on there. Just such a teeny tiny amount. And this was one of the things my makeup artist friend was really surprised about. She's like, it goes on so well. And I just do this with my finger because it's warm. And it's able to cover some of those veins that I have in my eye. It's going to help your shadow to stay on. It's not a concealer, but it kind of acts as a concealer. And you can see the difference between my eyes just right there. I don't even have makeup on yet. Don't be afraid to really get that eye primer close to the lash line, because when you go back in to put in your eyeliner, it will help your eyeliner to stay too. Because I know a lot of people will say, the shadow, I don't have a problem with the shadow, but my eyeliner just seems to like slide right off of my face. So this primer really will help that line to stick and to stay all day long. It's just, you cannot live without this primer. If you're going to start any sort of primer, start with the eye one first and you'll see what a difference it actually makes. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next primer, and this one is the eyelashes. Now, I really like this because it does make your lashes thicker and longer. I'm going to curl my eyelashes first. Make sure that you always put your primers on first. That should be your first step to your makeup regimen. I'm just going to curl this one so it feels better. But you want to make sure that you start with your primers because your primers will set that makeup to a place that you're going to love. Now, you can see that it's white, but don't be scared of the white. It goes away when you put color over the top. So you can put this on. It's doing really great. You can actually see my lashes in comparison to the other ones. And it's a very clear, very white, but you can already tell it has that fiber in it that will make it thicker and longer. Okay, so now that I have that on, I am going to move on to my lips. Now, I do like to put my lip primer on when I put all the other primers on because it has a chance to absorb. Your lips are moving the most. It's probably the most active thing on your face. You're drinking, you're eating, you're slurping, you're doing all the ings, and it's going to have the most movement. So I do like to put this on every time I put on my lipstick, which sometimes could be twice a day. But this gives it a chance to kind of soak in. And if you get it outside the line, it's okay. That's not a sad thing, because when you put your liner on, it will just stick a little bit better to right on that outside of your lip. Now that we're giving it just a chance to soak in there. All right, now we're ready to move on to the makeup part of everything. So I'm just gonna start, now that I've primed half my face. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little bit of foundation to my primed face on this side. And once you start using this, you can really tell, even in the application part, how well your makeup seems to go on. Ugh. There we go. I'm not going to add a ton of foundation. As I'm putting it on, I just want you to take a quick notice of how it's falling into the pores on this side versus not so much on this side. The smoothness of this side is a lot more clear than it is on this side, and it's purely just primer. The texture of my face actually changes when I use the primer than when I don't. And then think of it all day long. All day long, those pores are opening up and sucking it in. Without that primer to stop it falling into those pores, you'll see by the end of the night what I'm talking about. But even right now, I'm noticing, like, I see just a lot more in here than I do over here. And I just think that that's a thing that people miss. They don't realize how important that is, how important that step truly, truly is. So I'm just going to powder off because I want to set that both sides. And the more powder you add without primer, you're going to just have it set more into your fine lines, which that's not very fun. Let's avoid that. I'm just going to add some blush. That was too much blush. My hair is crazy. We'll fix my bangs in a minute. So the more you add when the makeup without a primer, the more it's gonna settle into those fine lines, into the texture of your face. Oftentimes you'll have to use more makeup as well because you're trying to get that color to stick. Whereas with the primer, it helps hold that makeup and stays there throughout the day. Stays there, I think, is really important to bring home, because without the primer, it just fades away and you have to add more. You'll have to check again. You'll find with primer, you'll never check your makeup again throughout the day because you're confident that it's set and ready to roll. Now I'm just going to do a really quick eye. Sure, it's messy. We love it. And I'm just going to go over the whole lid with this one wash. And I want you to be able to see I'm putting just as much makeup on. Actually, I'm putting a little more on this side. But I want you to see the difference. Do you see that difference? How this side, that color is sticking and it's staying and it's much more prominent than this side. And this side is going to fall. It's going to fall away. It's not going to stick. It's not going to stay. So you're welcome for going the whole day with this, by the way. That's a sacrifice because half my face is going to look like it's sliding off and the other half is going to look amazing. So sacrifice what I do. Okay, so then I'm just going to throw in a little bit of color up here using the same brush. Now I'm not using any sort of pearl or sparkle or shine, just to be fair to the makeup. Sometimes if you use pearl or sparkle or something that has a sheen in it or satin, you'll really be able to see the difference. I just want to be fair. I just want to show you what primer really does and how much of a difference it makes. Trying to even that out just a little bit, but you'll notice I am putting a lot more makeup on this side just to get it to stay. It's amazing. It's so amazing to me how much more it takes to get it to the same level as the other side. And it looks cleaner and fresher. The makeup just goes on so much better than this side. But you can see I get the dit. I'm applying it exactly the same way. It just doesn't go on as smoothly. And also I can see that little vein that is right here. And that's because I don't have primer. So it wasn't able to stick very well. All right, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and put on the liner. Already it's like falling into my hair. Let's give it a shot. There we go. And I'm just gonna put a little liner on, not a ton. I don't know if you can see that because it's so small, but it just goes on so much smoother and better. You'll feel the difference when you're putting on your makeup. You'll see, oh yeah, she's right. It's like silk versus like an asphalt road. Okay, it's not an asphalt road, but you know what I'm saying. It will feel so much better. Okay, now that we have our mascara. We need mascara. Okay, and then I'll go to the lips. And I'm gonna do this side first. And you can see with one coat what that has done and how quickly that is. No, I'm gonna put some more on so it's fair. We have to be fair on each side. Still trying, still adding. I'm really trying to get it to look like the other side, but I'm adding so much more makeup. I mean, it's such primer really is a money saver because of all the makeup you end up saving. I mean, you saw how quickly I did that one side, and I'm still adding to this one to even get it to kind of be like that side. And you'll notice like which side looks thicker. Like if I put as much makeup on this side as I did the other side with the primer, man, it'd be like a hurricane every time I batted my eyes. But as you can see, like now I'm getting clumpy on this side. Now I gotta pull out another tool to try and fix it. Which I will. I'll get there. It'll look okay. But as far as great, I mean, to me, you decide. One of the tricks to the eyelash primer is to go ahead and let it set. So that's one of the reasons I do the primers. It has a chance to warm up to the face. It has a chance to dry. And then when you put your other makeups on top, it's a lot more smooth. But you saw like, I'm really trying not to dramatize or make it I just want to show you the true difference of what the primer can do versus what happens when you don't have it. To me, that's a really huge difference. Okay, moving on to the lips. I'm gonna find my liner right here. The lips are a little chapped today. I would dare say my lip even looks fuller on the side I had the primer on. Now, this is a really good place to show you how the color can show up so much more vibrant, so much more true, and it will stay that way much, much longer. Once I get the lipstick on, this will stay so much better. We got it there. I think that's pretty even, although I will say even right here on this side, you can already tell it's going to be gone. It's going to be gone very soon, because it just doesn't have the primer to help it stick and stay. One of the greatest things about primers is that it doesn't feel like you've added an extra layer. It doesn't feel like there's anything more on your face. All of these products are incredibly lightweight. I would even say like the feather weight of it. It doesn't even feel like you've put on a moisturizer. They're very, very lightweight, very, very, they are just allow the makeup to go onto your skin so very smoothly. And you can actually feel that it's crazy. I really can feel the difference. Just the feeling of it. It feels so much more smooth and so much better. And I know by the end of the day, this side will be on and this side will not. It'll still be there. You'll have remnants, but it won't be nearly as good as the right side. You can save time and a whole lot of money by not using so much of your products by using primer. Primer really is the start to your canvas. It really is the first step that you need to make to having a full makeup look all day long, or even not a full makeup look all day long. But whatever look you choose that day, it will stay. It has the staying power, and it has all the powers that you need. The saving power, the staying power, it has the quick power, and that, my friends, is the power of primer. So don't skip the primer.